All right, today I'm interviewing Eric States, and Eric, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
All right. Bryce, you already know me, but I'm Eric. I just graduated high school from Geneseo. Um, so I'm 18. I played a few sports in high school, mainly soccer and tennis. I was ping pong club president. I put that in
Mm-hmm.
there. It's pretty fun. And I was a FCA huddle leader for 3 years, and been to that through middle school and high school now. And that was a lot of fun. A lot of good
Mm-hmm.
memories there. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the first question I have for you is, how are you able to maintain your spiritual disciplines during like a busy season, whether that's like prayer, Bible study, or stuff like that?
hmm So during a busy season is really hard. Um,
Yeah.
but a good example is I did host,
Mm-hmm.
but I hosted a Bible study at my house
Yep.
that we just started this past year.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of just a boys' Bible study for all
Yeah.
high schoolers, and we just hung out in my basement and hung out. In the winter, I was really busy,
Mm-hmm.
even though it wasn't
A sports
sports season
season.
for me.
Yeah.
It was just I was working. I did the basketball game scoreboard,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that just took a lot of my nights away. That we
Mm-hmm.
did the Bible study, but just having that those guys around you that kind
Mm-hmm.
of like you're going through the same things
Yeah.
and good to talk and get those sort of conversations out, and then
Mm-hmm.
just I really plug FCA. It's
Yeah.
pretty good. It's weekly, and you get a lot of people are around you and
Mm-hmm.
good conversations.
The second question I have is, in what ways does training like your body align with training your spirit?
Okay, I like it. I just think that one of the things that I've lived by in my high school career, and I think some of the coaches have noticed, is effort.
Mm-hmm.
And so the more effort you put in, the more you're going to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not a skill player on the soccer field, and I really enjoyed soccer, but I put a lot of effort in,
Yep.
and
That's
I think that kind of can relate
yeah.
to your faith too,
Yeah.
because if you don't put in the time or the
Yeah.
work, because I mean, said by so many people, then you're just not gonna see the rewards God has for you in your life. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, effort just does a whole lot because that shows where your heart is,
Mm-hmm.
and
It shows that you care about what you're doing.
it
Yep.
really does.
Yeah, that's really important. So, how do you handle pressure and performance anxieties with faith in mind?
Um, so yeah, soccer and tennis. I was pretty gifted athletically,
Mm-hmm.
um, and my junior and senior year, I played a lot of varsity time for both of those.
Mm-hmm.
But I think all the pressure I had was being maybe a sophomore or freshman on soccer that I got to play up a little bit,
Yeah.
and just having like the guys that you kind of look up to
Yeah.
watch you play, and like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you don't want to make a mistake in front of them.
Yeah.
And so it's that kind of reassurance that Christ gives you
Mm-hmm.
that no matter what happens, He's going to forgive you
Yeah.
for something you do or say or think,
Yeah.
all the sin in your life, and just
Mm-hmm.
when you're on the field, it's just reaffirming to like look back and go, I've got someone watching over me that doesn't really care how much I mess up, just cares about my heart and
Yeah.
how much that
And it
matters.
allows you to keep going and pushing
hmm
forward and not hitting a brick wall and just falling back.
Yeah. I'm a big motivator,
Yeah.
and the biggest motivator of all time is Jesus Christ. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he spoke through Paul and all of his on the books in the New Testament, and
Yeah.
just a lot of encouragement to those churches, and
Yeah.
it's really cool to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good. How do you keep like composure during wins and losses?
That was a tough one for me,
Yeah.
especially in tennis. I
Mm-hmm.
remember this one match where I'm playing varsity, and you play both singles and doubles, so by yourself and with a teammate. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big with a teammate kind of guy,
Yeah.
someone else I can push up and kind of like help them, and
Yeah.
helping them helps me a little bit. But when I'm by myself, I kind of really get down on myself
Yeah.
because that's sort of that individual sport.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing this dude. I know what school, I'm not gonna say, but
Yeah.
he was okay. He was
Yeah.
okay, but I knew that I had what took to beat him,
Yeah.
but it just was not coming out that day, and it was so rough, and I did not keep it together very well.
Yeah.
Um, and people watched, and after I just sat in my car for a while, and you just really think about like those like tough questions and like how could I have done that better, like
Yeah.
what could have I done differently, and in the future, like next time I was losing, I was just like, first of all, we don't go learn from your mistakes, don't do that again,
Yeah.
kind of like keep it together a little bit, and then that's when you have to really ask Christ for help, is
Yeah.
when you're down.
Yeah, especially in for baseball for me, it's kind of hard sometimes to keep like um my composure like when especially when I was younger, I made a few dumb mistakes like
Hmm.
getting mad and all of that attitude stuff. Um and a few in one game this year um kind of made me pretty upset with some things, but
Yeah, it's
yeah.
really hard. um
And it's also like it's also irritating to know that people like after you've done all that stuff you've gotten mad or something like that, you made a silly mistake, um like it's kind of irritating afterwards to realize like people are watching you do this,
hmm
so it's like
hmm and you really want to represent Christ as much as you can. And
mm-hmm.
I mean, even though you might have like a setback or a
Yeah.
failure, use that
Yeah.
to put even more effort in,
Yeah.
and that's what you can do both spiritually and in the sports world.
Mm-hmm. What Bible verse or story has kept you motivated in like tough seasons?
I'm not a huge verse memorizer, though I'm working on it. I'm doing a men's Bible study through my church, and
Yeah.
they're trying to implement that. That really does help.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but story, I can really only think about Abraham and Isaac.
Yeah.
Just God asking Abraham to do
Mm-hmm.
what in his mind is the craziest thing ever. I mean, he's 100 years old
Yeah.
plus after he had his only kid and was promised
Yeah.
children as the stars, and then was asked by God to kill his own son,
Yeah.
and he was going to do it. That's the type of faith that I want.
Yeah.
It's what I strive for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
It's like a family member, and you're asked to like,
Yeah.
that's
Sacrifice them.
crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of like Mark 8:35. It says, "For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's will save it." It's kind of like that, and you
Mm.
have to give up the worldly things, and you have to give your life to Christ and do what He wants you to do, and that's what God wants you to do. He wants you to sacrifice, and well, you have to be willing to give up anything for the Lord.
Hmm. I've done this in the past, but you kind of just like look through some of the like the fun books,
Yeah,
and I found one of the Songs of Solomon that talks about foxes. I thought that was fun. Something if you get bored, just
yeah,
kind of look around. There's little bits and pieces everywhere. You had no idea.
yeah. How has God revealed His purpose for you beyond just playing sports?
I mean, just like I think it's really reaffirming when you have other people come up to you and tell you have this gift. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're really good at talking with these kids or with
Yeah.
older people or something like that. And um, although I really do want like the leadership abilities to like say like the Bible study at my house, like give the lesson. This is
Mm-hmm.
not where I'm gifted at. I mean, um, but I can host,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do.
it's whatever God puts in your heart
Yeah.
that you're good at. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I do like encouraging people in
Yeah.
their faith and just in a lot of other things. And you get people like that say thank you for that, and you're
Mm-hmm.
like, I didn't even know I did that.
Yeah.
So it's just like I think what is the reaffirming from other people.
Mm-hmm. If you could tell your younger self one thing about combining like faith with sports, like what would that be?
Um, there's a few regrets I've made.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually quite a bit, but within faith and sports, I feel like in those younger years
Mhm.
where you do get the opportunity to kind of like hang out with the older guys
Yeah.
or be kind of just like the cooler guy in a
Mhm.
sense. Um, you really do whatever it takes.
Mhm.
And I would tell myself, don't ever sacrifice anything for trying to be someone that Jesus tells you not to be.
Yeah.
And I haven't done anything crazy,
Yeah.
but just like the little things, like how you speak, like
Mhm.
just stupid decisions and
Mhm.
what you're looking at, what you're thinking about,
Mhm.
because that's the people that you're involving yourself with.
Yeah.
Create a community. I would tell myself, create a community
Yeah.
and kind of stick with it and put Jesus in the center.
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah. Yeah, and you have to speak life to others. You have to think about that.
Be a leader,
Yeah, for sure.
especially as men. It's kind
Mhm.
of we want to be the example for other people. So
Mhm. Is there anything that God has taught you recently that is like reshaping how you approach everyday life?
I just joined a men's Bible study in my group, and I had the
Mhm.
first day yesterday,
Yeah.
and I had no idea what I was getting myself into because I went in and I'm the youngest guy there,
Yeah.
and I mean it was really inviting, which was nice for me, but just kind of like looking at all of like the older gentlemen
Yeah.
just that have lived like the same life that I have and
Mhm.
have gotten through it and have the wisdom now to pass on.
Yeah.
And so whether it's in the Bible,
Mhm.
um, or in the world around us,
Yeah.
God is putting people in our lives to help us grow spiritually,
Mhm.
and we shouldn't ignore it.
Mhm.
And so that's what I'm kind of doing. I mean, you have the ups and downs in life,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
sometimes you go to like a camp, like a
Yeah.
church camp, and you get those highs,
Yeah.
and you reach that what you think is like a peak, like I've never been closer, and
Mhm.
then you go back down.
Mhm.
I heard someone wise say, "I'm looking for no more lows, Christ lows,"
Mhm.
and it didn't click with me. But if you have no more lows,
Mhm.
then you're always steadily increasing. And that's the
Mhm.
plan. I
Yeah.
mean, whether you're dating someone,
Yeah.
your goal together should be going to Christ,
Mhm.
or whether you're solo,
Yeah.
you, something that you can spend more time on than that, and since you don't have anyone.
Yeah.
So it's just that constant
Yeah.
increase. So.
Everything that happens in a person's life is God's plan for them, whether they're tempted by the devil, whether God put someone in their life to help them, everything that
Mm-hmm.
involves something that God is going to do is what He has that plan for you.
Mm-hmm. He does.
Yeah.
You got to trust it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's all I have for you today, Eric. Thank you for coming over. It's been a blessing. So yeah, God bless.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bryce.
Yeah.